Welcome to Jesus Jazz and Dessert Wine. Our musical selection for tonight is Good Morning Heartache, made by many famous ones, including Gladys Knight. Good morning heartache, you old gloomy sight. Good morning heartache, thought we said goodbye last night. I tossed and turned until I thought you were gone. But here we are in the dawn. Wish I forget you, but you're here to stay. It seems I met you when my love went away. Now every day I start by saying to you, good morning heartache, what's new? Stop haunting me now. Can't shake you no how. Just leave me alone. I've got those Monday blues, straight to Sunday blues. Good morning, heartache. Here we go again. Good morning, heartache. You're the one who knew me when. Might as well get used to you hanging around. Good morning, heartache. Sit down. Stop haunting me now. Can't shake you no how. Just leave me alone. I've got those Sunday blues, straight to Monday blues. Good morning, heartache. Here we go again. Good morning, heartache. You're the one who knew me when. Might as well get used to you hanging around. Good morning, heartache. Good morning, heartache. Good morning, heartache. Sit down.
Good evening, family. Okay. Listen, Lynette knows the assignment. She gets it. Woohoo! Hey, fam. I am Alexis Roan, aka Alexis Grace, founder of Truth Meets Story LLC, expanding empathy one story at a time, and your host of Jesus Jazz and Dessert Wine at Vespers. Jesus Jazz and Dessert Wine at Vespers is a faith and adult storytelling series by faith. I mean, we explore the mystery of how God is present or perceived absent in our lived realities. And we do this exploration of exploring this mystery via the form of adult storytelling. Now, by adult storytelling, I mean stories that are told by adults, for adults, to adults and for people with a developed adult context. And for that reason, we never issue any apologies for how we show up in this space. We assume that everybody who's here can handle what it means to be here. 7-year-olds have a story time, and now so do adults. You're welcome. Okay, listen. So this week, I have been making a lot of adult decisions, and rooted in a lot of different things. One of the big ones that I want to share with you today. Let me set it up. So y'all know, my mom, Emma Means. Hey, mom, I know you're in a virtual pew. Tell people that you said hey, so they know I'm not talking about you behind your back. So mom and I are all the time, we show up, we practice fidelity to like what feels good and real and right for us. We don't offer any apologies, even when it comes to each other. And so one of the things that I do when I feel good is I sing. Now I'm not singing a full song. I'll just hit I'll just hit a note, just like, but when I hit that note, then you know that everything is good with me. Well, I love it, but she hates it. And so she hates it so much that when we were talking this week, and again, when I sing that it just means that I'm happy. So you would think that like she would be like celebrating the fact that I was happy. But me singing gets on her nerves. And so I was like, all right, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Before I made a decision to do anything, she did something. Here's what she did. I called her, and while the phone was ringing, while I was waiting for her to pick up, I'm singing. I'm literally singing like I sing because I'm happy. Like I'm literally like singing that verse. But when she answers and she hears me singing, she hangs up in my face. And so I'm like, I know she didn't just hang up on me. So I called her right back, and she was laughing. And I was like, oh my God, you did that for real. Like you did it on purpose. And she was like, well, I hate that singing. And so family, when my mama hung up in my face because I was singing, I made a decision. I made a decision to write a whole song in her honor. And I want to sing it here for you today. Now, I don't have the words memorized. Now, they're pretty easy. And if you feel like you can, catch on to it, then feel free to do that. I'll be singing in C, E, and D flat, but I'm going to finish with a B sharp. Okay. Now, listen, I'm an artist, and I'm sensitive about my shit. So y'all be nice about it. All right. So here it goes. The song is called Emma Pearl, You Are Pearl. Emma Pearl, you are a pearl, my favorite girl in all the world. You gifted me brown like Hennessy. I'm part of your legacy, full of wisdom, like my favorite girl, Emma Pearl. Bam, you're welcome. So listen, mama, hang up on my face one more time. I'm gonna write another verse. And then I'm gonna do the remix. I got the country western version I think that I can do. I got the gospel version, and I got the trap. What? Now what? Hang up on me again. And I'll have a whole album by the time it's, by the time it's all said and done. Mom and I have known each other for 52 years. And so she already knows that, like, I'm not going to be the person that's like, she's going to say, I hate when you do that. I'm like, I'm going to do it twice. I'm going to do it twice as hard, twice as long. She already knows this. I need to go to these comments to see. I'm getting applause. I'm getting applause. Terry is like, stop now or forever hold your peace. And then Mama's like, don't make me hang up now. Mama, if you hang up now, you're going to watch the replay. See, Dr. Lamb gets it. Thank you, Dr. Lamb, for my applause. My applause. Thank you. Anna's like, sending prayers to Mama, hang up on me again, twice as hard, twice as long. No, real talk. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. But we've known each other for 52 years in a couple of weeks. and she already knows how I get down. And everybody always, talks about how we love the relationship you have with your mother. Y'all are so wonderful. Y'all are so playful or whatever. And that is true today. It was not like that when we were growing up. We were growing up, it was like, oh, well, the problem was because there were two women that lived in the household. And she was always careful to say, listen, this house ain't big enough for two women. And I would be thinking in my mind, well, when you gonna move? But then I didn't say it with my mouth, because what the very next thought would be, now between the two women who live here, let's see, she's the one who pays the mortgage and the light bill and insurance, and then she fills the car with gas. Whenever I want to go somewhere, she's handling that for me. Uh, School clothes, she got me on school clothes, and then even like summer wardrobe, like I get a few items there. And she bought a washing machine, so I didn't have to go to the laundromat. And when the washing machine broke, she paid the repairman. Even Christmas, like, Christmas was on her. Like Santa was like getting no love. All that, hard work and economic investment, that was Emma Pearl, my favorite girl. And so, yeah, there were two women in the household, and she kept saying, it ain't big enough for, the both of us. And while I would think, okay, well, when you leaving, I would literally sit there and be quiet. I would not say that, because I recognized, like, who it was. I was making sure that all of us were good. But one of the things that I did do, though, and I did this a lot, is because she bought me little girl clothes, and like I said, we're two women, and so she would go to work before I'd go to school. When it was time for me to get dressed, I'd go in her closet. So I had my women's clothes, and and all of that was good. Now, I never got away with it, because in school they made gym class mandatory, and so I'd have on like all these like fly clothes, and then I'd have to go to gym class, and then I put them clothes back on, and then I try to sneak them back in the house, back in her closet, and she'd have them at the I'd put them under the plastic where the dry cleaners are, and trying to make like everything was good. And then she'd be coming in there, be like, why does stuff smell funny? So I'd always get caught that way. But then the other thing too is that gym class, my neck is all dirty or whatever, and she pulling her clothes out from under the dry cleaners plastic, and she's like, no, why is this collar all dirty? Like, I know these folks. So as I get caught, she get mad, and then we'd have a problem. But I still feel like it was mean of her to not want to share. She did say two women in the household, so I just felt like she should have did a better job of sharing. But what I really wanted to do, though, as I was coming into my full woman, pre-economic responsibility, the pre-economic phase of my womanhood, what I really wanted to do was to wear makeup. And that became a standard in my middle school bathroom class. All of us would come to school with these naked faces, and then we'd all meet in the bathroom, and everybody is passing around that one Maybelline velvet black eyeliner, and we, trying to line our eyes, and somebody would have a lighter, and this was before like they started making eyeliner come on easy. Like if you wanted to line your eyes, you have to light that bad boy, because it didn't, to get it to really define, to get your eyes to pop. So somebody have the lighter, and they'd light the liner, and then we'd be passing all of it around. It is a wonder we did not like live with pink eye like for all them years we were in middle school. By the grace of God, I never got pink eye, but I had beautiful eyes thanks to that Maybelline velvet black makeup, velvet black pencil. But I also loved the lipstick. It was Wet and Wild number 521. Now, when you ain't got a lot of money, your lip colors are given numbers. But when you got a little money, then, the girls who had the money, they would come in with like the little makeup pouches, and it would be Fashion Fair. That was how they got down. Fashion Fair chocolate raspberry. I had Wet and Wild number 521, and it was beautiful, and, and all of that good. But then my mama didn't let me wear makeup. And so what I would try to do is to when she, before she got home, I try to wash it off. But then I'd have these raccoon eyes because I couldn't get all of the makeup off because I lit a cigarette lighter, a match to get it to stay on and to get my eyes to pop. And then the makeup, although it was cheap, that pigmentation was really strong, and so I couldn't do anything. I couldn't get it all off. So she'd come home and I do everything I can, and I look at her, I just look away because I don't want her to see me. And every time I got in trouble. But through many dangers, toils, and snares, Emma Pearl and I have already come. And we're going to be good for the next 52 years. So all is well in all manner of things. Say all of that to say this. I was jealous of several things. The first is that for the girls who were able to wear makeup, their parents took them makeup shopping and gave them a cute little makeup bag, and so they could go in and they would be legit. And I had to do so much undercover. I was envious of people who didn't, who were able to do it above ground, who were able to do it above board. I couldn't do that. Eventually, I think we just kind of made peace. I don't know how we finally got okay with me being in makeup, Mom. I don't know how we factored that, but we did. But the storyteller that you're about to hear from today, he actually went on his first shopping trip for makeup with his mother. When I heard this story, I was so deeply moved by all of the ways that when I wore makeup, it was because I didn't like how I looked. But when he went makeup shopping, what he wanted to do was to look more like himself. Fam, life is interesting and layered. And the story that you are about to hear is about to take us on a powerful journey of what it looks like for us to eventually settle on, show up in, and love who we are. So with that, buckle up and please welcome Terrell Midgett as he dresses his truth in story.
I was at the early age of 10 years old. I lost pigment right around my fingertips. Didn't know what it was. It kind of freaked me out. Wasn't for sure what was going on with me and why my skin was doing what it was doing. My parents took me to a dermatologist, and the dermatologist diagnosed me with vitiligo. And vitiligo it occurs when pigment cells die or stop producing melanin, and it could be it's related to a disorder of the immune system. Some is hereditary, and some may be may come on set from a life trauma experience. So during the time of me trying to figure out my skin condition, along with my appearance leading up to middle school, as my pigment was, I was losing pigment pretty rapidly, mostly on my hands, elbows, and knees. As I approached middle school, I started having 2 small white dots right here. And got a little self-conscious about it. And my mother had found a makeup. It's called Dermablend. And there's Dermablend number 7. And we was downtown one day at Belk's here in Raleigh, North Carolina. And the makeup at the makeup counter, they applied it onto the 2 spots. And it blended so well that it made me feel good. It made me feel that that let me try it out. And so my mother purchased it, and I started wearing the Dermablend. Uh, over the time of me wearing Dermablend, of course, my pigment, instead of being dots, it started going around my eyes as circles. So, my mother would assist me with applying the makeup, probably sixth, seventh grade. And I think one time she couldn't do it, and my father had assisted me with it. And he blended it a little better. So, moving forward from eighth grade on to probably about 10th grade, he would leave out in the morning and get the guys ready for work, and then come back home before I go to school and apply the makeup to cover my pigment, uh, my loss of pigment. Um, as stated previously, around the eyes, it started circling, and then around the nose, then around the mouth and the ears. So I would pretty much just cover the areas that I've lost pigment. Um, I couldn't wear the makeup on my hands. I tried it early on in middle school, but everything I touched, as far as doors, paper, and everything, um, had smudges or had the makeup on it. So when I would go out in public, I could kind of fit in with the surroundings, where I wouldn't get so many people to stare and make comments. But I put my hands in my pocket, and that's kind of how I was able to move around uh, in a safe space, mentally and physically and emotionally. Um, as I got into high school, and the vitiligo had taken off even more, I still had the makeup, which a lot of people didn't know that I wore, other than close friends. It's hard for me to invite people over to spend the night, or it'd be times that my friends would come knock on the door if my parents wasn't home. I wouldn't even go to the door because I wouldn't have my makeup on. So that was kind of my hidden secret for all through middle school, high school, and into college. More so in college, I had more of a support group of family and friends that knew I wore makeup, so I felt more comfortable without wearing makeup around them, around the house. Um, it took possibly 30, 30 years before um, I was able to have a day without wearing makeup. Um, as time grew on, after my progressive in my adult life, and dating and stuff, it was also an issue with um, my makeup as well. Just how people look at you and stare at you, and just seeing if they can tell if I wear makeup. Man, a lot of people, if they knew, they didn't say anything. But over time, especially, I'm currently now 46, so probably when I was around 38, 40, um, more people started making different comments, because my skin had progressed up to this part. So this part was white, but I had a dark skin line here, and I would cover my makeup from here on down, and and that was my appearance. That's what I was known as. When I walk in any building, um, everybody that I knew, I mean, they gravitated to me. People that I didn't know, they pointed, they say negative things, and some days was better than others. The first election when Obama ran for president, racism became very rapid, and I was catching from both sides, blacks, whites, regardless. If I step out, they're like, "Who you, Michael Jackson, or um, are you in blackface?" And I think that um, that was kind of the breaking point for me mentally. I went through a period of depression. Um, and just staying isolated. But over time, I fought through it. I had different moments of depression, but like I just said, I fought through it. As I closer on to, like I said, I'm 46. So on my 43rd birthday, we had a family reunion in in Williamsburg, Virginia, and my wife, my daughter, and my son and my mother and father went to Williamsburg, and they left me here because I had to work. And I went to DMV to renew my license before I went out of town. And I went to the one here in Raleigh, and they had a waiting list of about 5 hours, and I just couldn't wait. So I drove out to the DMV in Clayton, and I waited, pulled my number, and I waited probably maybe 4 hours there before they called me up. And when I got up to the counter, the gentleman asked me to give him my license, and I did an eye test, and he said that he cannot take my picture, and I asked him why, and he said I would have to remove my makeup in order for him to take that picture. That was very it shook me because it caught me off guard because I had a license in the state of North Carolina since I was 16. Turned 43. My passports, everything had me wearing makeup, and I felt that the teller was being more funny. Dark skinned African American male. I was probably the only African American in the whole DMV, including the workers. And he said it with a smirk on his face, and I was just telling him that I need for him to show me his policy, that he cannot take my picture because I'm wearing makeup. And I said, is it a better time that I can take it? He said, no, I can come back the next day, or he can without the makeup on, or I would have to go to the bathroom and wash my face. So kind of left out of DMV, pretty upset. As soon as I got in the car, my wife called me, and she could hear in my voice that I was pretty upset by the encounter. And, she hung up the phone, and she called DMV, and I guess she has pretty choice words with them because the DMV, the head of DMV ended up calling me back, and he asked me, saying that please come back and take your driver's license exam. And I told him that I wasn't interested. I told him if I get pulled, I get pulled. I tried it, but it took a lot out of me that day. And I was just saying, if I was a person with low self-esteem, a person that would hurt myself, then the state would definitely have blood on their hands on that day. And I just told him I wasn't interested in even receiving a driver's license. So eventually he made he gave me his number to call him back the following week. So as I proceeded to hit the highway to go to Williamsburg that evening for the family reunion, I just had a lot of thinking and a lot of tears and just a lot of thoughts. And I got to Virginia and got around my family. And first thing I did was take a shower, and I washed my face. And I didn't put makeup on, and the whole weekend I went around Virginia without any makeup at all. And I didn't have as many stares as I did once I was wearing makeup. And I just think because, wearing makeup for 30 years and, as I applied it around my eyes and applied it around here, I still had this area is white and probably my ears. And so I think at that point, it made me comfortable, but it brought more attention to my appearance. And, people would say, call me blackface or try to stand off with me as if I'm being disrespectful to the black race. But that weekend in Williamsburg, I didn't have those looks that I had while I was wearing makeup. And make a long story short, that Sunday I drove back to Raleigh with my family. I got back home, and the first thing I did was I put my makeup on and went out, hung out with some friends, and then the next morning went to work. And my father said, "I thought you were done with the makeup," and I said, "Well, no, not quite." Um, and I went probably about 3 days later. Went to DMV to my sign appointment and got my driver's license with my makeup on. That was roughly around the 31st of July. Around August the 17th, I had kind of, went to a depression mode again. I'm battling with the counter at DMV, battling with my identity as far as who I am, and just kind of just sheltered, just stayed in the house. And I had called a friend of mine that takes pictures, and he came over one morning and he took some pictures of me without my makeup, and I wrote a little letter, and I told him I want him to, on the picture, put on the my letter on the picture. And because that night I had not a family reunion, but I had a class reunion, an all class reunion where all my high school friends were going to be a part of. And I just didn't want to go out in public and not have my makeup on and people ask a whole lot of questions. So I felt that if there was a time for me to remove my makeup and go out in public, that would be the time at the reunion. So that day we took the picture. He composed the photo with the letter on it, and the caption was "It's me." And I pretty much summed it up saying that, I've battled with, dealt with my appearance for a number of years in vitiligo, and I appreciate everybody's support, but I need their support more now than ever, because I will be embarking on a new journey without wearing makeup. And I sent it. My best friend Chris, he sent it out, and it just kind of went viral. I had friends calling me from all over, with support, and still hesitant. I washed my face, still trying to think about going to reunion. And my wife was like, "Let's go." By that time, it's about 11 o'clock, and we finally get out there, and everybody was embracing me. It made me feel good. People come up and hugging me, cheering me on, and it made me feel good. And So the hardest part was behind me, was to remove the makeup which had protected me for so long. Over a course of months after me removing my makeup, I went into another set of depression because the makeup gave me attention, and and the vitiligo gave me attention. But when I removed the makeup, it's kind of like I removed my identity. So it's like I had to reintroduce myself to a lot of people that wasn't at the reunion, who's not on social media. And psychologically, that became a little overwhelming, because to see someone and you speak to them and they don't know who you are, that really took a lot out of me as well. Um, so we, there's a saying that because some people wear it well doesn't mean it's not heavy. And vitiligo has and still is very heavy for me. And but I take my challenges. I take my challenges and in my journey, and I try to make it better for others.
Ashe, Selah, that part. I take my journey and I try to make it better for others. Terrell, I told you I love this story. I love how you show up. I was hoping, I was trying to get, when you say because some people wear it well doesn't mean it's not heavy. See, it's that part. You are getting all kinds of love here in the virtual pews. Try to make it better for others. You are a hero, Jacqueline Clinton says, and from Texas. Monica says, you are courageous. Thank you. Terry's like, such a strong and courageous brother. I'm inspired to be in your presence. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Let me pull up. I want to pull up Terrell's picture so that you can see when he was talking about people saying, like, you know, he's in blackface. And so, like, this is what he was referencing. And Terrell, what's so interesting to me is when you talked about the makeup made you feel comfortable. When I first met you, I had no clue. I'm like, he's a light-skinned dude. But the makeup made you feel comfortable. Why did it make you, uh-oh, is somebody trying to get y'all in there?
No, I'm good. Okay, I'm good.
What was it about the makeup that made you feel so comfortable? Was it because that you were just had a history?
Yeah, just
of-
more used to it. More used to it. You know, it covered up. You know, everywhere I went out in public, I was, you know, I would always have to cover up. If it was, you know, a hat on my head, if it was a hoodie, if it was long sleeve in the summer,
yeah,
if it
yeah.
was long jeans, if it was, you know, it was always covering up. So um, it was what made me comfortable.
Yeah. Dr. Lamb says, I'm praying that you will feel lighter and lighter as you share your truth. Thank you for trusting this space, all of us here, sending you love. And I do need you to know that the virtual pews of Jesus, Jazz, and Dessert Wine, like, they going to forgive me for, like, that crazy song about my mama. And if she hang up on me again, she going to get another verse. But this is also a space where people genuinely do receive you in the spirit in which you come. Reverend Camila says, thank you for sharing your truth. Terrell says, Monica Morgan, oh wow, what's going on here? I have to listen to this. Oh, you know what? I just realized that she may have tagged him in the Facebook post. That's what happened. Jacqueline says, continue to let your light shine. Ashe, absolutely. Terry says, this story is all too familiar. As I shopped with a friend for Dermablend years ago, she had vitiligo on her legs. After 30 years, she finally stopped covering her legs. So there was something that you said that I thought was really interesting. You said that people I knew gravitated towards me. People I didn't know would talk about me. So when you finally made the decision to take off what you said protected, it's like it made you feel more comfortable. Were you just tired of the whole of the looks, like the pressure had just gotten too much?
Yeah, it did. I mean, like I said, during that time, from, you know, in the last uh, 12 to 14 years, um, this world has changed a lot. When Obama first became president, like, it became blacks versus whites, and it's just, and it's just, you know, I felt that I was in the middle of everything. You know, I was getting from both sides,
Yeah.
especially when you're talking about blackface. So it became a, a visible thing, but also became a safety issue. I
Well,
mean,
let me.
I was in Vegas, and a woman, you know, she came up, and she came up very, you know, wanted to assault me, and so it was just a lot. And you know, I have some young kids. Well, I have a young kid, and I have two kids, and my son, he's 27 now, and I missed a lot of his life uh, because of because of things I couldn't do because of vitiligo, and not that I couldn't do. I did it to protect him, and how other kids may treat him. And I didn't want to I didn't want to make the same mistake in my daughter's life that I made in his, 'cause I can't get those days back.
Right, right. Now, I'm pulling up this picture of your wife and you on your wedding day. Now,
Mhm.
is there a particular reason why you didn't take the makeup all the way over, like just to that part?
Well, if you see at the top, I
Yeah.
don't know. Well, you could probably see
I'll
if
pull up the
I don't know if
picture.
you can zoom in, but if you look at this picture here, you see where you can tell where the makeup is.
Right.
So that's what that above that area was my natural skin complexion.
So you didn't want to cover all the way up, is what I'm
I didn't
saying.
go all, yeah, I didn't go all the way up because if I would have did like that, then I pretty much overnight, like one night I'd be like halfway down, like above my eyes, and then I come back and start doing it to my hairline. So I kind of just did it at the point over the years as it went up, went up, went up. But what happened was what you're seeing is it was going like this. So I had a line in between.
Oh, okay.
I had a
Okay.
line in between, and that's what you have to. Instead of me going all the way up, I
Hmm.
just went to the. It was a line here
Hmm.
and a line here. So
Yeah.
all this area was dark skin.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Got it. So, I mean, so I got to tell you, like I said, before, and I think when I posted one of your stories on my on my social media accounts, I said I met Terrell. I thought he was a light skinned dude. But what I thought was really interesting was that in hearing you tell the story, it's not about what I see; it's about what you feel.
Uh-huh.
And so, when you made the decision that okay, I'm ready to, you said, it's me
Hmm.
you know that I felt like that was such a powerful and such a profound moment. But when you said when I remove my makeup I remove my identity, what do you mean by the identity being like the like how was your identity formed in that in your makeup or that look?
Well, I mean, so with vitiligo, and I tell people all the time, even though I'm up here crying, I mean, it's I'm crying for years of what I dealt with. But like when I encourage people, and they ask me, well, how do you deal with vitiligo? And I still deal with it. But what you have is you have the gift of attention. And what vitiligo has gave me was that gift. And it was just that every room I went in is that I owned the room, no matter what
Ashe,
room I went into.
ashe.
So 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 uh you go from going in the room and owning the room, whereas you used to getting attention, either if it's good or bad, people gonna look.
Right,
Now
right.
you're going into this room the very next day or the very next week, and you don't have that attention, and
Mhm.
so it became um, mentally like it just bothered me mentally,
Okay, okay, okay,
as far as just being noticed
okay.
or and just what I was known as.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So just the fact, because you are a very, very, very popular, like everybody knows you. Yeah, like Terrell is the man. Monica says, "Please, this is an amazing story of a man who wore makeup for." Okay, she's given the backstory to Pharrell. Okay,
Yeah.
Jacqueline is
So
like,
so so let's go back with Pharrell. So Pharrell Phelps is he's known as far as in the vitiligo community as far as taking pictures. I know quite a few people. Katrina Christian, she's in our North Carolina
mm-hmm,
vitiligo support group. He's taking some great pictures of her.
mm-hmm.
But in actually, they came to the workshop. Ben from
Yeah,
Tennessee,
yeah, uh huh,
he takes some great pictures of Ben. So yeah,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Pharrell
mm-hmm.
Phelps is
Okay. Well, he's
one of
on
the
here and he's going to be hearing this amazing story. Now, you said something else about trauma as a source of vitiligo. I didn't like. I thought it was hereditary. You said like there could be a traumatic
yeah.
experience.
See, we haven't been able to trace it in my family as far as hereditary. So I don't know anyone that's in my family who has had it. Um, I just think mine is probably tied to some type of autoimmune.
Got it. Okay.
So
Okay.
and they've always said I had an overactive thyroid.
Got it.
Um,
Okay.
so
Okay. Okay.
I really don't know where mine came from.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
But I know quite a few people that's not support groups, and that's important of having support groups because you hear everybody's stories.
Mm-hmm.
And some people have been in abusive relationships, marriages, and what have you,
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of trauma has started at vitiligo. Some
Mm-hmm.
has started during pregnancy. So
Okay.
I guess it
Okay.
just depends on what
Okay.
someone, the triggers are.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, Pharrell is asking for your name and contact info. I'm gonna post his contact info up here in just a second. But I want to also say, Terrell, you were oh God, it was some okay, it'll come back to me here. Let me be sure I get everybody else's comment. Oh, like they're still talking about me. Dr. Lamb is saying, I hope you realize how strong you are.
Thank you. I
Do you
appreciate
realize that? Because you are like, and like, just FYI, like he for real is a stand-up dude. And that's, thank you. That was a question I have. So you have, and I'm careful about my language. You don't suffer with anything.
it. Right, right.
Like you brought your whole crew with you.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you are loved extremely well. So this is not suffering. But your condition is known as universal vitiligo.
Yes. So I've lost all my pigment.
And
And some people have focal where it might just be around, an eye or feet or something like that. But
mhm, mhm,
mine has. I have lost all my pigment.
yeah. Um, Monica said interesting causes. Yeah, I didn't know that either, Monica. Cindy Love is like, we see you, Terrell. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Monica said more men need to know this in our communities. And just the way that you show up in general, Terrell, like you're just a stand-up guy. And so I want to put his contact info. Am I wrong in believing that at some point you're going to be running for office? Because if so, I'm your communications manager and I'm going to be managing all of the stories and we're going to
Okay.
like secure the family. Like, is that an aspiration? Because I know
Um,
that you talk, you could literally fold yourself into your very successful and thriving businesses. Your baby girl had a pop-up and she owned the whole city on that day. I asked if she could lend me $10 and she laughed. Uh, so there are so many amazing things that you're doing. But you could literally just say, look, I'm good actually,
yeah.
but you show up because you know that others aren't.
Right, right, right.
Is there are there aspirations for public office at any point?
Um, it's open. I just keep
It's
it
open.
open. It's
Got it.
open.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay. If you are interested in learning more about vitiligo, about Terrell, there was not an initiative. What was that law that we were trying to get the
Oh
recognition
yeah,
on the
House
books?
Bills, House Bill 757.
House Bill 757.
Yeah. So we're trying to have a National Day of Recognition. And so that's to be able to bring awareness. June 25th is World Vitiligo Day, and that's observed by the vitiligo community. Um, and but we want our own day of recognition. Um,
Oh,
June 25th was chosen because that was the day that Michael Jackson died,
yes.
and Michael Jackson had vitiligo.
And do you know that people, why do people fight so hard against that? Is it because he never acknowledged it? Like they kept trying to make like, no, he's this degenerate who doesn't like his black
Yeah,
skin.
yeah. Well, I mean, if they go back before the bleaching of the skin, because some people that has vitiligo may take that route as far as bleaching.
Mhm.
I don't know the practice, but I'm pretty sure Michael did do that process. But if they go back uh, to the glove, I mean, the glove on his hand, that was to hide the the missing pigment on his hand.
And the mask was to when he
Yeah.
didn't have makeup
Yeah,
on.
so yeah, exactly. Whenever you see him on the balcony holding his kid, I mean that was pretty much he was the first one to come out with mask.
Wow. Wow. And
Yeah.
you had told me something else that I thought was really profound about people who have vitiligo, who people who live with vitiligo, how the pandemic has been a gift for them.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody I talked to, and as as everything started to open back up, I've been trying to reach out to many people in the vitiligo community and just ask them how are they, because during the pandemic, wearing masks or wearing things to cover your face, it gave us an opportunity to be free.
Yeah.
It gave us opportunity for people to go out in the community, to go shopping, and people wouldn't be so far staring at a point or making comments.
Yeah.
So now that things are opening back up, you have people that has vitiligo are going out into these spaces maybe without masks, with more loss of pigment. So we're just trying to make sure that people are mentally ready for what may be said, and our community has been doing a great job as far as bringing awareness. It's a lot of people out here now that in each state and across the world, they are doing great things as far as coming into their own and telling their story and being able to shine.
Yeah.
And we just want everybody else to get out there and be able to embrace, and that's the hardest thing.
Yeah, being able to shine, being able to embrace. Now, your dad is there in the studio. Actually, your whole family's in the studio.
Mom, you want to come through here?
You want to? I need to.
I'm gonna step out. I'm gonna step out for a second. Let them
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, if I can.
Come on.
Yeah.
No, come on.
Mr. and Mrs. Midgett.
Yeah.
Yes, Mrs. Midgett is representing in that purple in honor of vitiligo. That's our color for World Vitiligo Day, isn't it?
That's right.
Yes. Okay. And look at Pumpkin. She's like, I want to shine. Hey, baby girl. Okay. And there's Mrs. Midgett. Okay. Listen. I have a question for each of you. Wifey Midgett, Mrs. Midgett. When you met Terrell, he tells this beautiful love story about how y'all came together and how even the engagement when he proposed to you. But before that, he talks about how you invited him to church. Did he tell you, what do you remember about that Men's Sunday when you invited him to church?
I remember him walking in at 8 o'clock, which shocked me because he does not get up that early on a Sunday. And it just happened that we had a guest pastor, and I actually forgot his name. I go to Mouthpiece Baptist Church, and he talked about that he married his wife to date her. And I guess that was the turning point for him, that he thought that should propose.
Absolutely. It was because how soon after that did he propose?
I think in 30 days.
30 days. 30 days after that, he was like, you are my wife. We gonna date during these years. Like, absolutely. We're not gonna date and then I married you to date. I love that. That is such a profound story. Mr. Midgett, he talked about you being the one who had you did the better job of applying the makeup when he was younger. What was that like for you, showing up for him in that way?
Well, for me, I guess having to do it kind of gave me peace too. I think that as a father, my mental health background has helped me through a lot of this. But when you're at ground zero, it's a different ball game.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of mixed emotions, going through, and just want to make sure that he's comfortable, because if he's not comfortable, then we're not comfortable.
Absolutely. And even in the same way that he talked about not wanting to embarrass his son because of this condition, it was just interesting because you were like very present there with him. So, the fact that this thing was so heavy on him that he was like, okay, my being a good father is not showing up to the school and embarrassing you. Did you ever try to talk him out of that? Because now it sounds like he regrets that frame of mind. Did you ever try to say, "No, I'm gonna need you to be present"?
Well, Terrell is he's a strong individual. I think that one of the things that I think that he does realize that he's only limited by his own imagination, And again, I think he's a very, very strong individual. And I try to teach him and my grandson also, that nobody can beat you but you.
That's
so
it.
He has gained a lot of strength, more strength than I have right now.
Wow.
So he's been a pioneer. He's not a pioneer, but he's been a Moses as far as this here pilgrimage has been. So
Absolutely.
I'm very proud of him. Very strong individual.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what he's gone through, but I know what we've gone through. So again, I know it has amplified by 100.
Yeah. And I was going to say, having all of you there so supportive and so loving and so nurturing, I know has aided, even from his wife. He said he don't know what you said, But when the head of the DMV for all of the state called like minutes later, he's like, I don't know what she did, I don't know what she said, but that brother was like, like, please, please, what can we do? I love it, I love it. Mrs. Midgett, now, how has it been for you as his mother watching this whole experience? I know that moms and dads experience that whole journey very well, but you were also very pivotal in just keeping him safe and taking this journey the way it needs to happen. How has that been for you?
Well, from day one when I saw it is I have been there and I thought it was my responsibility to find out what was going on. I've always tried to make sure that he looked the best that he could ever look. I've provided anything that we have provided anything that we thought he needed. And as my husband and I echo behind him, that I think Terrell has really been the person that was even greater than we were, because we supported him in every way. And a lot of times, like, we may be feeling certain things, but we never probably let it show. But we realized that he was even greater than we were. And in times of his trials and the times when had things going on, we were always there with him. And I know one time he called me and he had a problem, and I know that I was emotional, but I played a song, and the lyrics doesn't really fit what I was feeling, and it fit what I was feeling, but the lyrics weren't really exactly. Because I played it as loud as I could play. I said, when something is wrong with my baby, something is wrong with me.
There it is.
So
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
played it as loud as I could play it,
Yeah.
all the way to his house.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And I love.
we've always been with him. He's very strong. And actually, when I look at Terrell, I don't even know where he got all his ability to withhold, but I know he has a big heart.
Absolutely.
And he's a very strong person.
He
And
is. And
I think he's God's gift to the Vitiligo community.
He is most definitely God's gift, but you are also a part of that gift as you have supported him and given him strength. Even I understand when y'all attended, we thought it was his birthday party, and it was this big lavish event, and it turns out that was his engagement party. He was about to propose to his wife, and he said he called you out first, Mr. Midgett, and told him, like, I'm about to propose, and then he was like, well, let me tell your mama first, and then she comes out. And they're looking like, who paying for all this? It was like a super fancy party. And Ms. Midgett, he said that you were like, do I need to go in there and get my purse? Am I going to have to kick in for this? When he said that, I was cracking up. But I know you're going to show up. Something's wrong with my baby. Something's wrong with me. But even when it's right, when we got this big lavish party, you're like, I don't know where this boy get all this money from, but somebody go get my purse so I can kick in. I so appreciate that. Baby girl. Here's the story that your daddy told about you. He said that he was applying his makeup one day, and you were in the restroom, and you were watching him apply it, and you said, Daddy, I want to be just like you. I want to look like you. And he said that just made him feel so, so beautiful. And I just love that story about you. But I have one serious question for you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can I get $5 from your lemonade pop-up money? You doing loans yet? Is that yes or no?
No.
It's pretty tight.
Oh my God, Terrell, Jacqueline wants to know, when will the book be available? So I'm hoping that you are like somewhere putting that together. And then Monica says, so beautiful to hear his family, meet him where he is. Absolutely. That's the whole game. That is an absolute whole game. Cindy Love says, a loving, supportive family can get you through everything. Ashe, Cindy Love, ashe. And my mom was like, a mother is only as happy as her most unhappy child. My mom is always saying that a mother is only as happy as her most unhappy child. So we got an amen corner. And then Dr. Lamb said, you each have so much beauty inside you. Thank you for sharing that with us. Bless you all. Wow, this has been such a treat. I want to thank the whole Midgett family for just being here, for being present, for being there for Terrell, for supporting him as he goes on to do the greater work. So there's most definitely more to come. Mr. Midgett, you called him Moses. I'm like, I see it. Like he's leading.
Absolutely.
He's leading us to those greater spaces. So I just want to say thank you. Thank all of you for being. Jacqueline says, beautiful family. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to put y'all backstage when we finish out this program. Don't leave me. Y'all will be able to watch the rest of it from backstage. But thank y'all. Thank all of you.
Thank
Just
you.
put y'all backstage.
Bye bye.
Fam. Okay, listen. I got to tell you, I am on some next level stuff. Not because I am so good, but I am good. I really am. I'm an amazing person. But what I do is I can see all of these important things that are going to help all of us be better, all of us come up. There is something amazing about this platform and about the lived realities that we all have more than conquered, that we've overcome, and we've just got to be comfortable with sharing that. Listen, before we close out, there are 4 things that we do at Jesus Jazz and Dessert Wine at Vespers. One of them is we offer a public lament. So here's what I'm going to say. Whatever it is that you know about people that you see walking around, you don't know what their story is, you don't know who they are, where they've been, like what's going on with them. If you are like the white woman who approached Terrell in Vegas, and Hef, I'm looking for you. I don't know who you are, but don't be running up on people like that. Like sometimes you're gonna mess around and find out the right one is gonna do it. That is unacceptable. That's not what I'm saying. Because she got it wrong. She got it all wrong. She was convinced that she was right, but she was all wrong. There's something else that we do that's all wrong as well. When we look out into the world and we assume that everything is dark, ain't nobody for the other, everybody is just doing their own thing or whatever, then I lament that, because when we assume that ain't nobody out there looking out for the common good, for the greater good, when we believe that that is the reality that we live in, then we just kind of settle into this very dark space and just feel like, oh, woe is me. I lament that when I ask people, what do you see? Sometimes the only thing that they can respond is all of the darkness, all of the sadness, all of the ways that people are running up on innocent folk and getting it wrong. That's all they see. Here's my prophetic hope. It's found in the book of Psalm. I've been meditating a lot on the poetic text, and there was something that that caught me when I was meditating in the Psalms this week. It's the last verse of Psalm 8. It says, Psalm 8 verse 9 says, "Your majestic name fills the earth." And then the next psalm in verse 10, it says, "Those who know your name trust in you. For you, O Lord, do not abandon those who search for you." And every time I read that, I begin to pray the names of God. I see you, Jehovah Shalom. You are the Lord is peace. I see you, El Elyon. You are the Most High God. I see you, Jehovah Jireh. You are the God who provides. I see you, El Shaddai. You are the breasted one. I see you, El Roi. You are the strong one who sees me. I see you, Jehovah Rohi. You are the Lord is my shepherd, my God. I want for no thing, for you are intentional concerning me in everything. What do you see? I pray that my prophetic hope is that you see the glory of God filling the earth and that you operate in accordance with that. The third thing that we do at Jesus Jazz and Dessert Wine at Vespers is we offer an energizing memory. Now, normally this is where I'll pop up a picture of some sort, but my memory today is actually a story of it was it was like a story slash fable, folklore, something that a friend of mine shared with me. And it was about what it means for you to declare what you want and then to show up like you genuinely mean it. He says there was a village that had been suffering from a drought, and they collectively came together to pray for rain. But only one person showed up with an umbrella. My energizing memory is that that story, the importance of declaring what you want and then operating in concert with that. If you're praying for rain, show up with your umbrella. The fourth and final part of Jesus Jazz and Dessert Wine is we talk about giving. And we're all the time, whenever people talk about giving, they're always thinking, oh, you got to give money or resources or whatever. Given what we've seen today, what we've shared today, here's how I want to approach giving. I want to say when we are wanting to be better, wanting to do better, wanting to know more, wanting everything to happen faster, give it time. Give it time. Continue to practice fidelity to what you believe, to lean into all of the good things, to show up and to be good to people, to advocate for others who might be in the space where you are or where you've been. Terrell has an awesome family, an awesome story, but he knows what it's like to take this journey, and he shows up in that space. If you're not ready to do that, at least you can declare, okay, here is who I am, here's what I want to be, and I want you to give it time and to trust that you're en route to those healthy things. All right. Now, before we shut down, let me go back to the virtual pews. Everyone is saying thank you. Like, yes, this platform is lit. Absolutely, Cindy Love. You know I love everybody in the virtual pews and all the personas. Yes, yes, yes. We're doing amazing things. Now, next week, our featured storyteller is this amazing person here, Anna Darian. Now, her story is so on fire that she only gave me a taste of it, and my stomach has been churning. I'm like, oh Lord, what we gonna do? I don't know where Anna is coming. I don't know what's about to happen, but I do know that every time she shows up in the in the virtual studio, and we're here in the virtual pews, we are in for an awesome experience. So be in the place, all right? And with that, our blessing and our sending. Psalm 9:10 says, those who know God's name trust in the Lord, for they know that God won't abandon them. I pray that you go into the next week until we meet again with full assurance that Emmanuel, God is with us always. That's not a little thing. That's the whole game, actually. You are not alone. There are angels that dot your path all the time. And I pray that when someone asks you, what do you see? That you are able to answer and to say, I see that all is well in all manner of things, because the Lord is present. Ashe, Selah, so be it. Thank you so much for being here with us today, and I will see you next week at Jesus, Jazz, and Dessert Wine at Vespers.
My funny Valentine, sweet comet Valentine, you make me smile with my heart.